Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order? Today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting decimals with models, right? That we can use pictures or hundreds grids to represent and solve problems involving adding and subtracting decimals. So we'll do some highlighting earlier, but you're going to want to keep your highlighters out today because we are going to do a little bit of coloring. So we're going to use pictures here to add 32 hundredths and 17 hundredths. And so I want you to picture a situation where you're sitting inside, it's a hot day, you hear the music playing outside. Da, 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 da. Right? That ice cream truck is rolling down the street and you need to find some money. And so you flip over one of your couch cushions and you find 32 cents. And so to represent that, we're going to shade in 32 squares to represent 32 cents, right? So I have a row of 10, a column of 10, a column of 10, a column of 10. That's 30 hundredths. Two more make 32 hundredths. Flip over my second couch cushion, I find 17 more cents, 17 more hundredths. And so in a second color here, we're going to shade in 17 hundredths. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay? And then we're going to count all the squares that are shaded. Okay, so before I talk about the answer, I want to go over these steps one more time. When you are adding, this is how it works. Using one color, shade in your first number. Using a second color, shade in your second number. And then we're going to count all the squares that are shaded. So, all the squares that are shaded. 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? 49 out of 100 total squares. Okay? And the decimal for that would be 49 hundredths. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Mr. Heckman, I could do that in my head. What do I need to draw a picture for? The purpose of the picture is for you to be able to represent your thinking in another way. Right? For you to be able to prove to somebody that you really know what's going on here when you're adding decimals. Right? That you're taking this red group and this green group and you're combining them to form a new group, a total group. Okay? And that's what the picture shows. Subtracting gets a little bit different, and immediately when we're talking about subtracting, what do you notice that's different? If you said that some of the squares have x's in them, that's absolutely correct. When we talk about subtracting with models, I want you to think about xing out. Okay? And so we'll talk about that when we get to step 2. You can highlight your 3 steps. Okay? In this case, I have 61 cents. The ice cream I'm going to buy costs 42 cents. So, in subtraction, we start by shading in our first number. So, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 1 squares are shaded in this light orange, maybe peach color. Maybe it's a creamsicle type ice cream color. And then before we do step 2, if we stop to think about what subtraction means, like if I'm a kindergartner, I've never done subtraction, and you're gonna tell me what it means. You're gonna explain it to me. You might explain it to me as taking away, right? I have a plate of brownies. How would you show subtraction? You would literally take some of those brownies away. Well, I can't necessarily take squares away. I can't take paper away, right? So to represent that, we're going to be crossing them out. So you'll notice here that I'm going to cross out 42 squares to represent 42 hundredths. So the easiest way for me to think about this picture is I crossed out 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42. And then to find our answer, we're going to count the squares that are shaded but not crossed out. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So that would be 19 out of 100, or 19 hundredths. Some of you might be saying, Mr. Heckman, where did the 100 come from? Great question. This grid is a 10 by 10 grid. It has 100 squares there total, and if you don't believe me, count them and check them out. Okay? So, first thing we're going to do here is we're going to try a couple problems. So, in this first example, right, I'm going to be doing a subtraction problem here, right? So I start with my first number. I'm going to highlight that in pink. So I need to highlight 1 whole and 35 hundredths. So 1 whole that's better. 1 whole and 31, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I have $1.35. I have 1 35 hundredths. I'm going to take away 18 hundredths. So you'll recall to take away, I cross out. So I've taken away 5. I've taken away 15, 16, 17, 18 out of 100. All right, let's figure out how much I have left over. I still have my whole, and over here I have a row of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 hundredths. Okay. Let's look at this second one. Let's start with some obvious things. I know it is what type of math? I know it is subtraction because we have the X'd out. Okay. I know my answer here is 11 hundredths because that's what's not X'd out. Let's work backwards. Okay. How many squares have X's in them then? Well, I have 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Okay. And so I can do a couple things. I can now count all the squares that are shaded and have X's, right? Or I could add these two numbers together to get my total. Either way is going to work, right? I have a column of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, and 11 hundredths plus 41 hundredths is 52 hundredths. So in your notes, why don't you pause the screen? There are several grids there. You could write these problems down and try them. Okay. You could see me with any questions. But when you're feeling confident and comfortable, the next step would be to log on to the online textbook and finish the practice buddy. Thanks so much and have a great day.